President Donald Trump has either pardoned or commuted the sentences of more than 1,500 defendants connected to the January 6th riot at the Capitol. That includes about a dozen people from our region.
10 News anchor Samuel King joins us now. So, Samuel, you've been looking into this, and some of these cases are still pending.
Rachel and John, that includes Nathan Boudreau of Floyd, who was charged just last week with assaulting law enforcement during that riot, as well as several other misdemeanor charges. That case and several others will now be dropped. Supporters of Gabriel Garcia gathered in Florida to celebrate President Trump's pardon of the January 6 defendants. He's just one of the 1,500 people whose records will soon be clear. President Trump's sweeping pardon also impacts several people from our region, including two former Rocky Mount police officers. One, Thomas Robertson, recently received a reduced sentence of 6 years in prison after being convicted of 6 counts, including charges that he interfered with police officers during a civil disorder. Another, Joshua Haynes of Covington, was sentenced to 5 years.
January 6th, these are the hostages.
The president and other critics of the Justice Department under the Biden administration said the prosecutions were overzealous and his sentences too high. But John Fishwick, former U.S. attorney for the Western District of Virginia, says the justice system should have had the final say in these cases.
It very well could be good arguments that there are excessive sentences. Maybe the case wasn't fair. It wasn't a fair trial. There was overzealousness. But typically in our country, we leave those decisions to judges and juries.
Dr. Casey Myers with Virginia Tech says the debate over January 6 is a sign of how political speech has changed in the past decade.
So the facts of January 6 remain the same, but the historical interpretation of it has now changed, depending upon your philosophical viewpoint.
There's no place in this country for political violence, no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on. I expect that the new DOJ under Trump would certainly prosecute folks who have committed political violence. But nonetheless, the message from yesterday, unfortunately, some folks will interpret it as that you can be protesting and commit violence and it's ultimately going to be forgiven. And that should not be the case.
We did reach out to several of the attorneys for the defendants, but have not heard back just yet. Now, some have complained today about slow releases of some of those defendants, as that is supposed to happen pretty much immediately, and those cases cannot be brought again. John, Rachel?